Another week, another day in Westeros indeed. All right, so this is a video on House of the Dragon, episode 7. Gonna give you a spoiler warning right now. If you haven't seen the episode, probably shouldn't watch this video, unless you want to stick around and watch me prattle on about it, in which case you are welcome to do that. But ye be warned, there's a lot that happens in this episode. There's a lot that happens in every episode of House of the Dragon, so I'm not gonna cover all of it, just gonna go by the things that stood out to me. And starting out, okay. When people hook up, does the internet still do the thing where you take two halves of the names and you put it together to make one name, like Ben Affleck and Jennifer Lopez were Bennifer? Because I have so many Everybody Loves Raymond jokes. So this episode actually started out with Laena's funeral, which I thought was great for a couple of reasons. One, I don't feel the show gave me enough time to get attached to the character Laena, so a funeral is a really good way to do that. You can make the argument it's too little too late at that point, but seeing everyone lament the loss just really makes you feel like she was a part of their lives, she was a part of the world. Like the world's just shittier without her. Somehow the world of Westeros got worse than it was. Also, that is the case in point. The fact that there was a funeral in Westeros in which everyone was really sad. You don't get a lot of funerals in Westeros, not ones where people are like, oh man, what has the world come to? More than a few occasions of, yeah, that dude got his ass beat to death, all right, what's next? Even though, man, that funeral must have been awkward. You're looking around, you're like, they hate them, they hate them, they hate them. They want to kill them. Eamon steals the dragon. Dragon's name I can't think of right now. Yeah, I know, look it up. How hard is that? That's why I give everyone and everything nicknames, so I can just remember them in my way. I call him Bad Motherfucker, because he's the biggest and the baddest, right? Anyhow, Eamon gets on this dragon, just starts riding the dragon. I was like, wait a minute. What I know of, like, dragons are really monogamous, right? That's like his dragon now. Imagine that. Robin got to be like, the Batmobile's mine now. That's just the way it goes. Do not judge me and my channel for having a Batman Forever reference in a video talking about House of the Dragon. That is how I roll. This episode had some great lines too, when the sea snake was like, history does not remember blood, it remembers names. Dude, that's an incredible line. Just the concept of, if they're not my lineage, but they have my name, I will live on. That does supersede if they're my lineage, but they don't have my name, and then I won't. I don't know why that hit me. I was like, it's more profound than I should. But really the standout, the showstopper moment was that super kid brawl deathmatch. I knew blows were coming. It was 4-on-1 at a point. I didn't know it was gonna be a full-on Hell in the Cell match. Hell in the Cave, anyway. And everyone who was at the funeral, scowling at each other, hating each other, they were all in that one room. They're like, what happened? It was basically, he said, little kids pointing fingers, with the indisputable fact that dude stole their family dragon. He took my dragon, he took my eye. It was the whole thing. It's been so awkward for the parents. I love how Daemon, through this whole thing, is just like leaning up against the door, just smirking, like, yeah. Then it all goes down. He's like, I guess I'll get involved now. I cracked up, because King's Landing, that is some Jerry Springer, Maury Povich shit right there. You got kids who are not kids of the father, and all the adults are pointing fingers. They all start coming at each other with knives. That was ice cold when the queen was like, it's fine, it's fine, it can be paid back. I'll just take one of your kids' eyes. But what I loved about this is, I didn't know if a kid was gonna die in the scuffle. I was like, is a kid gonna get stabbed? Is a kid gonna get his head crushed? This is Westeros, man. That wouldn't even be the darkest shit I've seen. I don't think. I've been a fan of Westeros for a while. I've seen some shit. But I didn't know if someone was gonna die or how they were gonna get injured, if it was gonna be permanent. I like that feeling. But after all that, Rhaenyra gets slashed, a kid might get his eyeball cut out. Then Eamon speaks up and he's like, it's okay. I lost an eye. I gained a dragon. He's right. Just like Otto Hightower says. He was like, that was a fair trade, all right. Still couldn't help but be like, could you have spoken up sooner? Not since the butler spoke to Harry Osborn in Spider-Man 3 have I seen someone speak up in a fashion that can only be described as unfashionably late. Would have saved a lot of headache and some stitches if you just said that earlier. Lenore gets away. I was glad, because Lenore gives his whole like, hey, I haven't been a good husband. I thought I could have my happiness, yours. I don't think it can, but I'm committing myself to you and this family. Because everyone knows, your father knows. Your father acts like he doesn't know, but he's just trying to keep the realm together. No, he knows. We gotta unify, storm is coming. And then it looks like she has him killed, but then it shows him get away, and I was like, okay, it looks like they just worked that out, where this dude just got away. This dude's like, fuck that place. Fuck it. Glad King Viserys is still alive. I saw that in the comment section of my last video. Someone was like, the most shocking thing is that he's still around. Every time the opening credits come on and I see his name, I feel like Palpatine.
He's still alive.
Every time. every episode. But yeah, not only did Rhaenyra and Daemon hook up, now they're married. Which means every time the queen hears Rhaenyra talk, she's just gonna think to herself, "Shut your fucking face, Uncle Fucker." It will just happen, because that song transcends space and time. I do wish dragon lore was more front and center. I wish it was more of a part of this show. Season 2, I hope they bring it to the forefront more. Like, Lenore has a dragon, right? What happens to his dragon? Does his dad get his dragon? What does his dad think about the little kid, Eamon, taking the dragon that's in his family? These are good and fair questions that I wish the show would concentrate on, because dragons are a huge part of the culture of the families in the show. And this is actually the real gripe of this episode. The episode was really dark, just in terms of lighting. It looks like they filmed it in the daytime and artificially darkened the scenes that were supposed to be at night. There are pictures that I found that looks like the nighttime scene in this episode, but it's just in the daytime, so I think that's what they did. Either way, it looks like muddy shit. All the nighttime scenes were almost unwatchable. It was unbearable. I couldn't stand it. Other than that, the episode was killer. It was a great episode of tensions, conflict, and people being like, okay, everyone knows that your kids are not his kids. There's gonna be a move made against you. She was like, all right, Daemon, you want to just make the power couple of the century? And I'm glad that they're bringing the kids to the forefront, because this family conflict is gonna go on for a while. All right, so House of the Dragon episode 7. Have you seen it? What did you think about it? Whatever you thought, comment below, let me know. And as always, if you like what you've seen here and you want to see more, click right here to see more.